A city centre road in Leeds has been cordoned off and a police investigation is underway after a man's body was found on a construction site this morning. Police were called to the building site on Central Road just after 8. The man was dead at the scene. The incident is not being treated as suspicious and the police say he was not a member of staff working on the site. A council meeting was suspended in Sheffield this afternoon after 2 councillors were hit on the head by an Extinction Rebellion banner. Protesters rolled it out from the upstairs public gallery at the town hall, which overlooks the council chamber. It hit former council leader Terry Fox and Labour councillor Brian Lodge. Councillor Fox told the BBC he was making a formal health and safety complaint to the council. The campaigners were rallying outside ahead of the meeting. Huddersfield Town footballer Cian Harrott has been suspended for 4 months and fined £3,200 for breaching FA betting rules. Harrott has admitted to placing bets on 484 matches between 2020 and 2023. Huddersfield Town say they'll support the player through his period of suspension. Some great news today. If you're a Super League fan, just 8 days away from the new season, it's been confirmed that some Super League matches are to be shown live on the BBC for the first time. For the next 3 years, 15 games per season will be shown either on television or the BBC iPlayer and BBC Sport website. This will be in addition to the regular Challenge Cup ties. The first one will be a week on Saturday, the 17th of February, while Castleford Tigers host champions Wigan on BBC Two. Now, plans to create a brand new town on green fields between York and Selby have been put on hold. Herronby was to be a garden development, almost 4,000 new homes, but North Yorkshire Council has now removed the development from its blueprint for the future. Olivia Richwell has this.
These are the green fields that would have been home to a whole new community. Herronby was to be a development covering more than 2 square kilometres with almost 4,000 new homes. Developers said it would have a market square, schools and shops and plenty of affordable housing. But people living in the small villages nearby said the location was unsuitable.
There's no work here. People who will occupy these houses will drive to Leeds, will drive to York, will drive up the A1. It's counterintuitive to the idea that this is a green village, people having to drive 20-30 miles to go and get a job. And it will occupy huge amounts of agricultural space.
Whatever they say, it's a town. So if I put into perspective, there's 4,000 houses, 8,000 cars, 16,000 people.
Now Herronby has been removed from North Yorkshire Council's local plan because of concerns about the impact on traffic.
This cycle path would have been at the very centre of this new garden development. But campaigners say this has always been the wrong place for 4,000 new homes. But affordable homes are still needed. So if they're not going to be built here, where are they going to go?
The council has identified much smaller sites in existing villages instead.
We know there's such large waiting lists for homes that we must do and act as a responsible council and find a satisfactory resolve to provide much needed housing for people to work and live in the locale.
In the market town of Selby, young people we spoke to said it was hard to get onto the housing ladder.
Is there enough affordable housing here in Selby, do you think?
No, definitely not. It's hard anyway. I mean, the house prices are skyrocketed anyway.
We've got a little 4-year-old, so it's like, we need a space for him to grow up and, we just can't afford that.
The only thing you can do around here is shared ownership, which is pointless, really, but yeah, it's just too hard.
Herronby is off the agenda for now, but the developer behind it says it won't give up and will try to solve any traffic concerns, so the new town could still go ahead in the future. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, near Selby.
The Montgomery Theatre in Sheffield, beloved of amateur groups in the city, is halfway through a major rebuild. It's almost 140 years old. When the work is completed, which should be late spring, there'll be new seats, new heating, and for the first time ever, it'll be accessible for people who use wheelchairs. Tom Ingle has been to see the work in progress.
Hard hats are not normally part of the dress code for a night out at the theatre. It's absolutely covered in dust, but I mean, it is a bit of a building site.
However, the Montgomery, a grand old lady of the Sheffield stage scene, is having a £1.5 million makeover.
There will be quite a few things that people notice are quite different. The toilets, I know it's a basic thing, but we're very excited about all of those updates. And I think the look and feel of some of the areas of the building will change as well. I think this building has needed a lick of paint for a while. So
more than a lick of paint, possibly. Yes,
yeah. Oh, and warmth. We're having a completely new heating system put in as well.
You were rifling through the building, clearing it ready for the building works, and you found this stash of pictures.
That's right. They were just, I think they'd been dropped off by somebody who just popped in one day and said, I think these belong to the Monty. And we were like, oh, OK. And this one specifically is from what we think is My Lady Molly, which was in 1934, all those years ago, from Clifton Amateur Dramatic Society.
Looking at the age of some of these performers, some of them may now be performing on the great stage upstairs, maybe one or two of them will be watching now.
And if they are watching, we would love for them to get in touch with us, because we'd love to know about My Lady Molly. It sounds fantastic.
The Monty, to give it its affectionate nickname, is particularly tied to the amateur groups of South Yorkshire. Just big enough, just the right price for local thespians who want to hire a venue for a real show. Undoubtedly, it's that living history that makes the Montgomery so special. So many people in this part of the world will have a memory of either performing here or watching a show here. At a time when theatres are closing or just falling into dereliction because there isn't the funding available to keep them open, it is so heartening to see the work going on here.
We've got a lot of experience working on these types of buildings. They become very challenging once you get under the skin of them. These buildings obviously weren't built for modern day living, so yeah, the adaptations that we're doing are making them more accessible for visitors in the future.
And that's the showstopper. When the Montgomery reopens, for the first time it will be accessible for people who use wheelchairs. Not just audience members, but performers too. The team here are still fundraising. The more they can put in the kitty, the better she'll look come opening day. Curtain up should be in late spring. By then, it will be no hard hat required. Tom Ingle, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Looks like it's going to be amazing, doesn't it? Now, an exceptional young man from Liversedge has been awarded a prestigious Points of Light award from the Prime Minister today. For almost a quarter of his life, Zach has been meeting politicians and policymakers as he's fought to change the law to protect people like him who have epilepsy. Zach was trolled after videos of him raising money during lockdown were shared online. Here's his story.
In lockdown, Zach raised thousands of pounds for charity. But when these achievements were shared online, he became the target of online abuse.
It was traumatic. It was shocking. At one point, I phoned the Epilepsy Society in tears. They'd had over 200 of these attacks.
These deliberate attacks came in the form of gifs or videos that could trigger dangerous seizures in anyone with photosensitive epilepsy. Zach and his mum launched a campaign to bring trolls to justice and make social media platforms responsible for safeguarding their users.
We're doing this for a whole huge community of people in this country to try and protect them.
In September of last year, Zach's law became official. Today, he's been meeting the Prime Minister.
No one should have had to face the bullying that you did, and I'm sorry about that. But in the face of that, you went and then campaigned for change.
The award recognises his bravery and campaigning to protect those with epilepsy from online abuse.
Well, I caught up with Zach and his mum Claire outside number 10 earlier on today and asked them how it went.
How's it been, Zach? Have you had an amazing day?
It's been pretty amazing.
Absolutely amazing, yeah.
To be able to come and stand on the doorstep on number 10, it's pretty surreal.
It's surreal, isn't it?
And what's the award like? What was it like getting it?
It was amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
To receive an award from the Prime Minister, it doesn't happen every day. So to be able to get an award from the Prime Minister, a pretty amazing achievement.
Very amazing achievement.
And since all this has happened, Claire, do you feel safer with Zach going online and accessing material?
I think I do, yes. And I think from the experience we've learned how to have open conversations about the use of social media and how he can help protect himself, how he can also help his friends as well and explain to them from a child's perspective instead of, maybe having an adult tell them how to behave all the time.
It's such a huge thing, Zach's Law. You must be so proud of Zach.
Incredibly proud. We only set out to raise £260 and we've raised over £21,000 and he's changed the law.
Zach, you must be a little bit proud of your mum as well.
Yeah, I can't describe. She's amazing. She's amazing.
I think you've described her pretty well. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
What a sweetheart. Congratulations to Zach. Now, the owners of a stolen dog who was missing for 2 weeks have been reunited with her. Cocker Spaniel Vixen was taken along with 4 other dogs in her owner's van. They were found abandoned and Vixen's return seemed unlikely. However, late last night, she was rescued from 2 men who were trying to sell her. Now, her owners are vowing to use the skills they've learned in tracking her down to help other dog lovers who've lost their pets. Abby Jayola reports.
She's a little dog who's been the subject of a huge search after being stolen in her owner's van 2 weeks ago. But she's finally home after being offered for sale to someone who knew who she was.
He went to where the people told him to go. He got out of the van with his friend and he just went, "That's that dog that's been missing." And yeah, they managed to get hold of her, take her back down to his house where our friend was.
The 2 men who tried to sell Vixen ran away and haven't been identified. Davina's still trying to work out exactly what happened and will pass any information to the police.
She seems exhausted. As you can see here, she's kind of like just chilling. I think she's just very happy to be back with her family and her ordeal is over. We just can't believe that she is back.
Vixen's story was shared widely on social media and her owners say they're grateful to everyone who offered support. They're keeping their Facebook search page open to help others track down their missing dogs.
That's what our kind of like aim is now is, yes, we have her back, but there's so many people out there that are missing their dogs and we want to give back and help them get their dogs back as well.
Clever girl. Vixen seems happy to be home. Her owners now hope they can help others find the same joy. Abby Jayola, BBC Look North, Rothwell.
Lovely little Vixen. Now, a new light show in York is bringing art to life. The free event, called Colour and Light, uses 3D projection mapping to transform the exterior of the city's art gallery. Visitors can see portraits from inside the gallery beamed onto the building's facade. Nicola Rees was there for us.
Well, the art gallery is already a standout building in this city, but just look at it tonight. Bathed in lights and colours, all created from really high-tech projections and mapping the history of art in this city. Let's find out a little bit more about it. David's here from Double Take Projections. David, I know there's a lot goes on in mapping a building like this to create this.
Yeah, a few late nights recently just trying to get up and running, but really happy with the results. Kind of a few weeks has kind of had the graphic designers in house working with a variety of different artists to bring this to life. Really,
what kind of a reaction have you had?
It's been really positive so far. We had a woman crying last night, but I think that was a positive rather than a negative. I think it's been really well received, and it's already busy tonight with the first couple of showings.
Brilliant. And Andrew, you're here too from York Beard. How important is it, this kind of thing, to get people out on a cold, dark night?
Yeah, absolutely. The idea of projections like this is it brings people into town at a slightly busy time of year. hopefully they'll come in and enjoy the hospitality we've got here. But I think the great thing about this is it's something which is accessible, it's family friendly, and most importantly, it's free. So really hope it's going to be a success.
And tell me about some of your favourite artworks that have been displayed on the building tonight.
Yeah, no, I think what's been really done well by David and the team is the fact that we've got some of your traditional artworks which have been displayed here in the gallery, but we've got some pop art there as well. We've got local artists, so I think there's something for everyone.
And it's been going round on a loop already this evening. And David, we've had a huge round of applause. What's it like for you when you see the reactions like that?
It makes the late nights definitely worth it. So yeah, it's great, kind of working hard on something, getting to see the results at the end. And getting a positive reaction from the public, so that's brilliant.
And it's probably worth pointing out that it is a completely free event, so you can come along, and all of these artworks that would normally be hanging inside the gallery have been animated, brought outside onto the street for people to enjoy. It's running until the 25th of February, so come down if you can.
Thank you very much. Now, it's a snowy forecast for tomorrow, so Paul's here. What's the latest?
Right, OK, well, we're going to have rain spreading up from the south tomorrow. It's been, well signalled. The forecast remains the same compared with what we said yesterday. So we are expecting some snow. The Met Office have actually focused in on the areas which are likely to be most at risk from disruption, and it's usual suspects really. Like we said yesterday, it's the Peak District, areas to the west of Chesterfield, the west of Sheffield, up the Pennine chain through South and West Yorkshire, Stocksbridge, Huddersfield, Home Firth, and I imagine that amber warning will be extended up to the Yorkshire Dales by the time it starts snowing there. So it's it's the usual suspects. It's higher ground. I imagine Trans-Pennine routes could be problematical later tomorrow. It's not for the...
Yeah, because the timing of these things are crucial. Yeah, it's not the morning rush hour,
It's not the morning rush hour. It's potentially tea time rush hour for higher ground, North York Moors. I think at lower levels, there's likely to be some snow around. But as I said yesterday, what we've got to remember is we're coming off the back of an exceptionally mild spell of weather. Ground temperatures are abnormally warm, and so it's going to be a bit of a job for the snow to settle, and the gritters will be out in force as well. So it's an issue for higher ground.
And how long is it going to last? Is it just all over in one day?
One day wonder. It's the story of this winter, isn't it? Because the mild air just winds through, and we're back in double figures over the weekend. But I'll be repeating this information very shortly, and you'll be doing it tomorrow. But let me show you a couple of pictures that came in. This one struck me as a beautiful example of altocumulus. That's Easingwold Golf Club. Thank you very much for sending that in, Kev. And the same sky at the same time was photographed from the beach in Scarborough, exactly the same time, and cloud formation. So send your pictures in, and of course, if you get some snow tomorrow, send them in and we'll get them on the telly tomorrow evening. There are the addresses on your screen right now. So there's the lowest tier of warning in place for much of the region away from the coast. But if we just home in on areas most at risk from disruption, there it is, Peak District, West and South Yorkshire Pennines, and I reckon that'll be shoved northwards to incorporate the Yorkshire Dales by the time it starts snowing there tomorrow. Elsewhere, we're just talking about slushy deposits. The side roads might be a problem, but the main roads shouldn't have any problems at all away from high ground. And look, the warm air, the mild air does wind through, low pressure in charge. It means Friday and the weekend still very unsettled, and there will be showers or longer outbreaks of rain. OK, there's a radar picture. Tomorrow's rain and snow. The system's only just coming into Cornwall, so it's got quite a way to come. So it is a quiet evening. This evening and overnight will be dry. Some patchy cloud floating around, but there'll be clear spells as well. A widespread frost to come. Watch out for icy patches. If you're up very early, there might be a few flurries across the Peak District by 6 o'clock in the morning. Lows of -1 or -2. So tomorrow's high water times in Filey at 2:52, Bridlington at 6 minutes past 3. So we'll watch this rain and snow spreading northwards. It is a bit of a messy mix away from the high ground, but it is the Pennines that will see several centimetres disruptive snow right up over the tops. North York Moors, Yorkshire Wolds as well, and it's going to feel cold wherever you are with a fresh easterly wind. Top temperatures struggling up to 3 Celsius, that's 37 Fahrenheit. Further ahead then, Friday, any hill snow will be turning quickly back to rain. Further rain at times, but as I said, it's a one-day wonder. We're back in double figures on Saturday, and actually, it might not be too bad as we head through next week. And that, Keeley, is the forecast, an accurate one, hopefully.
Yes, and so good you said it twice.
Oh, did I?
Yes, thank you very much. We are back at 10:30. Tom Ingle will be presenting this evening. Join us then if you can. Bye-bye.